Growing up in India, this was a customary ritual in my parents' house where every 2 to 3 weeks a nice, nutty, sattvically pleasing aroma diffused from the kitchen into all the rooms of our house. This invitingly appetizing aroma made me happy because I knew my mother reverently prepared the golden elixir of life, ghee, that day. Whenever ghee was made fresh in the house, a highly spiritual effulgence would waft through the entire house. My mother would lovingly yell at me, "Tuppad Gundi, come!" First portion of the freshly made ghee was always offered to the deities in the prayer room. I was, and I'm still, a die-hard fan of ghee. Growing up, I don't think I ever missed even one day of not having my mother's homemade ghee along with chapati, the Indian flatbread, where my mother would lovingly pour heaped teaspoons of ghee on top of my fluffed wheat chapati. Just reminiscing this, my mouth is salivating. Those were the good old days. I enjoyed ghee thoroughly in all the savory and sweet dishes prepared at home. My love for ghee was kind of insane. That's the reason why my mother lovingly nicknamed me Tuppad Gundi. Translated in English means ghee pot. So this gives you an idea how big a fan I am of ghee, as I was called ghee pot by my mother. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namaste, this is Akshita. I hope you all are safe and healthy during this pandemic. As you might have guessed, we will be learning all about ghee today, why ghee is given the utmost importance in the ancient texts of Ayurveda. In this podcast, we will learn the numerous benefits of ghee, how Ayurveda has been using ghee since centuries in India. Finally, I will also be talking about how I personally use ghee in my own daily life. At the end of this podcast, I also share with you my educational video on how ghee can be prepared in an authentic Ayurveda way, what are the right ways to store homemade ghee, and much, much more. So let's get started on knowing all about ghee. Ghee, the clarified butter, or more famously called as the golden butter, needs no introduction anymore, as it has become hugely popular in the West, especially here in the US, as we see ghee being sold in almost all health grocery stores. Ayurveda has revered ghee for thousands and thousands of years. In Ayurveda, ghee is called as grita or gritam, which is derived from the Sanskrit language. Now let's get to know the qualities and personality of ghee. Ghee is Shita, Snigdha, Guru, and most importantly, Deepana per Ayurveda. So ghee is a coolant by nature, which makes ghee best friend of Pitta. Snigdha, meaning unctuousness in its guna, the smooth and oily effect of ghee pacifies Vata big time. Guru, meaning ghee is heavy to digest, and this in turn helps to effectively ground Vata dosha, especially in the mind. And last but not the least is Deepana, meaning it stokes the digestive fire. One of the main reasons why Ayurveda has placed ghee on a high pedestal is because even though the quality of ghee is cooling by nature, it still stokes the digestive fire because of its Deepana quality. Generally, when any food stokes the digestive fire, it is almost always heating by nature. Ghee is one big exception. That is why ghee is a best friend of Pitta and Vata, and with caution, it also helps to keep Kapha in balance. Ayurveda says in moderation, ghee is considered to balance all the three doshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. The original texts of Ayurveda have many sutras written on ghee in Sanskrit language. I'm going to translate one sutra here in English to give you an idea why ghee is the divine elixir of life. Here goes the English translation. Ghee is revered as the auspicious elixir of life. It enhances and builds intellect, memory, makes one an ingenious creator, optimizes digestion, bestows strength, valor, and longevity, strong immune builder, helps in virility and eyesight. Ghee can be safely ingested from anyone, from a child to the aged. Really helps those who desire for more children, enhances good lustrous complexion, making one look vibrant and youthful with desirous, good, pleasant voice. So this is the translation of one of the sutras which tells us the benefits of ghee. It is auspicious elixir of life. If you have visited India or are familiar with the culture of India, you might know this. Panch Amruta. Pancha means 5. Amruta means the nectar. The 5 nectars is cow's milk, yogurt, honey, sugar, and ghee. These 5 nectars or panchamrutas are used in the temples of India to bathe the deities, the gods. Even this panchamruta was given to me by my mother on special occasions like birthdays and weddings, where you're offered to ingest the panchamruta and also use it to shower yourself with it. So it is one of the ingredients of panchamruta, so it's very auspicious by nature. And all the Vedic yagnas, the fire rituals in the temples and ashrams of India, do it with ghee because it bestows ojas, tejas, and prana in life. It enhances and builds intellect, memory. This tells us that it helps to balance pitta, makes us an ingenious creator, so it really grounds the creative vata in us, optimizes the digestion, so it works on our solar plexus, the agni, the digestive fire. The list is numerous if you read the Ayurvedic sutras. It bestows strength, longevity. Ghee is used to build strong immune system. But I just wanted to give you an idea how the sutras are written in original Ayurveda texts. Another important thing about ghee I wanted to mention here is you might be familiar about saptadhatus, the 7 tissues that Ayurveda talks about, and the digestive juice. When the food is digested, it gets absorbed in our 7 tissues, and one of the tissue is Medas Dhatu. It is called as Saptadhatus in Ayurveda. And the Medas Dhatu has a direct impact when we consume ghee. This is the tissue that subtly helps us to build and connect with the higher consciousness. The Meda Dhatu is primarily built with the water and earth element. So when we consume ghee, we really help to build and strengthen this Medas Dhatu, the fatty tissues in our body and mind, because according to Ayurveda, Medas Dhatu, the fat tissue, plays an important role in our capacity to love and to be loved. So whenever there is a vata imbalance, whenever you feel lonely, whenever you feel depressed, ghee works directly on these fatty tissues to help us feel loved and also to have the ability to love our loved ones or in life in general. So that kind of gives you an idea how ghee is described in the original Ayurveda texts. My mother used to make ghee exactly how the Ayurveda text described. She used to buy raw organic cow's milk directly from the milkman. And then she would go through the lengthy process of pasteurizing the milk, collecting the cream from the milk, and maybe after a week or so, she would culture the collected cream, and then that cultured cream, she would hand churn it to make butter. That fresh butter tasted so yum. My taste buds still remember the taste. So that freshly prepared butter, she would then put it on a stock pot on a slow flame and prepare the ghee. So this is the right way of making authentic Ayurveda ghee. Here in the US, I make it from organic, cultured, unsalted butter. So if you were to make Ayurveda ghee, it is very important that you use not just unsalted butter, but unsalted, cultured butter that makes the authentic Ayurveda ghee. The only brand, as far as I know, that sells organic, cultured, unsalted butter in the US is Organic Valley. I have no affiliations with this brand and I pay full price. I have been buying this butter for more than 12 years now and making my own cultured Ayurvedic ghee at home. The ancient texts of Ayurveda describe ghee as one of the 5 gifts of the cow. From milk comes the cream, from cream comes the yogurt, from yogurt comes the butter, and from butter comes the ghee. From ghee comes nothing. Hence, ghee, which is not perishable like any other dairy products, represents the pure consciousness. That is why Ayurveda texts call ghee as the sacred food of Agni. Ghee is the sacred food of our digestive fire. Ghee should never be refrigerated. I repeat this again. Ghee should never be refrigerated. As long as there is no water molecule touching the ghee, it will never spoil. When you refrigerate ghee, the molecular structure of ghee changes, and this weakens the digestive fire. The natural personality of ghee is Deepana, which stokes the digestive fire, which we heard earlier in this podcast. Keeping ghee in the refrigerator weakens the Deepana quality, and instead of stoking the digestive fire, it lowers the Agni, which in turn will make our metabolism slow and sluggish. So please never refrigerate your ghee. I have heard some store-bought brands recommend you to refrigerate ghee. This is not correct. When you are recommended to refrigerate ghee, it cannot be ghee. So it is best if you make ghee at home. It is very easy to make, and it takes only 20 to 30 minutes to make ghee at home. I make my ghee once a month on a full moon day, called as Purnima. Ayurveda texts tell us the best day to prepare homemade ghee is on the full moon day, when the soma energy gets infused in the ghee, and it tastes extra delicious when you make it on this day. The ghee made on a full moon day is very beneficial for women especially to balance their hormones and mood swings. Ghee prepared on a full moon day is a blessing to Pitta and Vata personalities. In summer, our digestive fire slows down because of the excessive heat. And I live in Arizona, and during our brutal summer here, I consume good amount of ghee to keep my Pitta cool and my digestive Agni strong during summer. Ayurveda strongly suggests to make ghee from cow's milk. In fact, whenever you hear Ayurvedic ghee, it is always referred to ghee made from cow's milk. Having said that, the ancient texts of Ayurveda do give us few other choices to make ghee from the other animal milk. The ghee is also made from buffalo milk, goat milk, sheep milk, and camel milk. Ghee made from buffalo milk is beneficial for people who want to build an athletic body, and it helps to pacify Pitta. Goat milk ghee is light to digest and mainly used to help with cough and breathlessness. Sheep milk ghee is again light to digest, helps with female reproductive system issues, and helps to pacify Vata dosha. Camel milk ghee pacifies Kapha and Vata dosha, and the texts say it is very useful in skin diseases, and it also pacifies Kapha and Vata dosha. Ayurveda strongly suggests to consume cow milk ghee as it pacifies all the three doshas and is the best kind of ghee from all other animal milks. Ghee is the best unctuous fat that tastes very good, stimulates the dormant digestive fire, gets food digested optimally, and ghee is tridoshic, balancing Vata, Pitta, Kapha doshas. It deeply nourishes the tissues of the body and provides firmness to the sense organs. And ghee bestows strength and enhances complexion. So this is how it is written in Ayurvedic Sutra, why ghee should be the preferred unctuous fat to include in our everyday diet. In fact, it is mentioned, borrow money if needed in order to include ghee in your daily diet. So consuming ghee on a daily basis is very important. Ayurveda for centuries has been using ghee which has been carefully stored for more than 1 year old, 10 years old, and even more than 100 years old. Ghee stored for many years is used as medicated ghee in Ayurveda and is especially very beneficial in all mental disorders and diseases. Ghee stored for at least 1 year and up to 10 years is called as Purana Grita. Purana meaning old, Grita meaning ghee. In fact, I have started to make my own Purana Grita ghee, which is 1 year old homemade ghee. This ghee is very useful in allergies, to build strong immune system, and overall to keep a person healthy and robust. The Purana Grita ghee that is at least 1 year old, the taste is bitter and pungent, and the unctuous quality decreases as the ghee ages. But it becomes a very potent rejuvenative. I talk more about this aged ghee and what herbs I use in my educational ghee video. Few years back, after my parents' passing, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. And during this time, I had adopted a vegan and gluten-free diet for about 2 years. During this time, I had given up on eating ghee. It was not easy to give up ghee. I had no problem giving up on milk, yogurt, cheese. But ghee, let me just tell you, it was a big test to pass. And I had also started doing hot yoga during this time. That was such a wrong timing when I look back now. Boy, oh boy, hot yoga, no ghee, no wheat. I was in for a nasty surprise. Got severely dehydrated, faced constipation, and dry stools for the first time in my life. I added more avocados in my diet, consumed healthy plant oils rich in omega-3, 6, 9, tried to eat a lot of soft, smooth, unctuous foods, but I was still constipated. All my life, I emptied my bowels first thing in the morning, even before brushing my teeth. And this was all completely new to me. Felt very uneasy, irritated, and slowly I started observing my mind was getting constipated. This is when I intuitively felt one day in my meditation to bring ghee back in my diet. After bringing ghee back in my diet, in less than a week, my constipation, dry stools were all history. And I started to again feel good about myself. Got my energy and focus back. I learned my hard lesson and decided never to let my favorite ghee out of my diet. I think this Ayurveda Sutra will really explain this beautifully, why ghee is different from all the fatty materials. Snehanu uttamam Shitam Vayasaha Sthapanam Sahasraviryam Vidibhihi Srutram Karma Sahaskrata. So this Ayurveda Sutra says, Grita is Nenanu Uttamam, meaning it's the best oleation from all the fats we know, unctuous by nature, and it helps to lubricate the tissues, the muscles, and helps to calm and keep our nervous system healthy and balanced. Snehanu Uttamam, the best oleation fat. Sitam, meaning it's a coolant. We learnt about it just few minutes back. So ghee is cooling by nature, so it's very good for pitta and for vata because it stokes the digestive fire. Vaisaha Sthapanam, meaning it restores youthfulness. So ghee is revered in Ayurveda texts as Vaisaha Sthapanam. It keeps you young, not just externally by your looks, but it keeps your tissues, your muscles, your blood flowing. Everything inside our organs work in the most efficient way. It keeps your mind young and agile. You think positive thoughts, you think creative thoughts. You have the enthusiasm, the ambition of a youth if you consume ghee in your diet. So Vaisaha Sthapanam is not just looking young by our external appearance, but keeping us young inside mentally and making all our organs working efficiently for us. The second sutra line, Sahasraviryam Vidibhihi, meaning ghee is used in thousands of preparations, where ghee is used as a complement. You might use it in sweet dishes, you might use it in savory dishes, you can use it in many types of drinks. So where ghee, a small portion of ghee is added into a main dish that you eat or drink. So and that you can prepare 1,000 types of variation. That's the word Sahasravirya. Sahasra means 1,000 types of ways you can consume ghee with food. The second line is Srutram Karma Sahaskrita, meaning here also you can use ghee in thousands of preparation, but the difference is here the ghee is used as a base. So especially in Ayurveda, medicated ghees are used. Medicated ghee formulations where ghee is the main ingredient and then certain Ayurveda herbs and tinctures are added into the ghee. And this can also be prepared in thousands of variations. Today, to all my vegan clients, I tell them to consume ghee as medicine, especially if I see any pitta or vata imbalance in them. No other fat can do what ghee can do for our own body and mind. And I say this from my own personal experience. What is the best time to have ghee? As I am a pitta dominant personality, I prefer eating ghee during my lunch, when the sun is on top of my head and our digestive enzymes are the strongest. Lunch is pitta time per Ayurveda, and to keep my pitta cool and optimize my digestion, I have it in my lunch. Ghee is best consumed with something warm or hot foods. It goes best with sambar or rasam, which is an Indian veggie soup, if you will. I also like to consume ghee with my herbal rasayanas, like herbal tinctures that I take daily. So to completely digest ghee, it is best to be taken with something warm or hot food or liquid. Now, if you're experiencing fear, anxiety, depression, have hard time sleeping, you can also consume ghee during dinner time. Ghee taken in the evening will help to ground vata and calm pitta. One of my favorite drink before going to bed at night is taking a glass of warm milk with 1 teaspoon of ghee added to it. You could also add a little bit of sugar to this drink. It tastes good and you will doze off pretty soon. This milk and ghee drink is widely used in Ayurveda to calm the nervous system and help us build ojas, which is the main ingredient for healthy immune system. During summertime, I also apply ghee on my navel and lightly rub it clockwise to keep my solar plexus cool and strong. And just before going to bed, I like to apply ghee on the soles of my feet. This helps to ground vata and really helps to sleep deep. Try it and you will be pleasantly surprised. There are some cautions mentioned in Ayurveda texts. Never mix ghee and honey with equal quantity, as this turns into slow poison. If you have kapha imbalance issues, try to avoid ghee during this time. The mantra of Ayurveda is balance and moderation. So in case you consume ghee more than you should per your dosha, you could experience indigestion or diarrhea. Drinking warm water or having fat-free homemade buttermilk called chas will help to mitigate the excess consumption of ghee. It is also recommended to avoid ghee if you have cold or fever. Ghee, as mentioned in the beginning of this podcast, has numerous never-ending list of benefits. Ghee is rich in omega-3, 6, 9. It aids in absorption of vitamin D. The best part about ghee is it enhances the flavor of any dish, be it savory or sweet. If you are familiar with Indian cuisine, you might know tadka. Tadka means seasoning. So in Indian cuisine, it is very common to use ghee as a medium of fat or oil for seasoning. So what they do is they take a small stock pot, add about 2 to 3 teaspoons of ghee, put some mustard seeds, let it splutter, put some cumin seeds, they add curry leaves, then they add some red chilies, and they just let all to splutter in the ghee, and then they pour that ghee in any savory dish they make, and that takes the flavor to another dimension. So ghee, one of the important characteristics of ghee is it enhances flavor. It enhances the rasa. So it enhances the rasa, the stomach knows to secrete the right optimum digestive enzymes. So by enhancing the flavor, ghee helps us stoke the digestive fire first and then fully digest the dishes that we eat. Ghee is also told to have high burning point. It has a high smoke point. So ghee is used to even deep frying foods. Especially in North India, ghee is one of the main fat used to deep fry desserts or any savory snacks. But I personally do not deep fry with ghee. I use organic avocado oil because according to the Ayurveda text, ghee loses its medicinal benefits when you deep fry it. So I like to use ghee in my dishes by keeping the flame to low medium and cook my meal, my dishes in ghee, but I never use it to deep fry. And ghee is also well tolerated by people having lactose and casein intolerance. It has been observed like when people go on a vegan diet, they go low on vitamin B12. So in those cases, I tell them to take ghee as medicine to up their vitamin B12 because ghee is quite rich in butyric acid. And also ghee is a bestower of all prana, tejas and ojas, and that is why it is called the auspicious elixir of life. Ghee has slowly started to become a staple food here in the US as people have come to realize its unending list of benefits. If you have not tried ghee, then I would really encourage you to do so. I would prefer you make it at home because, to be honest, the store-bought ghee is really not the Ayurveda ghee. It is very easy to prepare. It takes less than 20 to 30 minutes to make ghee at home. how to make ghee the right Ayurveda way, how to store ghee the right Ayurveda way, and how to consume ghee the right Ayurveda way. I share this all in detail in my education ghee video. The link is in the description box. This video will give you all the information on how to prepare, store, and consume ghee directly from the original texts of Ayurveda. I even have the sutras in the video. I translate them for you word by word and let you know all about this blessed ghee. So if you want to prepare and consume ghee the right, authentic Ayurveda way, then please check out the video. The link is in the description box. I hope you enjoyed listening about the benefits of ghee. Why is it so revered in Ayurveda texts? I would love to hear from you. Your comments and suggestions are very much appreciated. You can email me at jivalifestyle@gmail.com. The email is in the description box. Until we meet again, thank you for your time and namaste. Sahanau bunattu sahaviryam karvavahai तेजस्विनावदितमस्तु मा विद्विश्वावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति